Hey guys, it's your own boy, the one only Great Dane, back with Brawl Stars. Just gotta make sure recording here. I don't usually record 2 videos in a session, so I wasn't sure if it actually was. But anyway, I have recently shared an unhealthy amount of replays in my club chat, and I'm here to show you guys that. So what arguably the best brawlers for big game. Gosh darn it. I was just talking about this. I really hate. I exited the game for what, 2 seconds, and I already have to reapply Do Not Disturb. That is so annoying. And I'm also holding on to my credits. I think I already said that before. And then for a trophy league reset, I don't know if I'll talk about it in the other video I just made that I'm releasing for Christmas star drops. I got about 300, what do they call it, bling, for my Brawler trophy reset. Anyway, there's a lot of videos here, so without further ado, I just want to show you guys what some of the most cheesy, as OG would put it, or broken brawlers in big game are, specifically when you're playing as the big boss. Spike is just the funniest character to play as the big boss. Is when you have his Dark Lord. It's the one with the mute. It's the one that makes any sound. Spike is just that really deep laughing sound effect over again. So, the argue Spike is probably the best, if not second best. I think there's 2 that it's almost ridiculous not to choose. Let me talk about what's going on here. So, first of all, for no apparent reason, the star power you want to use is his healing one, the one that pretty much nobody uses, which is why I think it's pretty easy for the Supercell HQ to overlook the fact that he heals 3,000 per tick on his super. So much, in fact, that in combination with this gadget that drops the healing cactuses, or life plants, use the life plants as a shield, and then with my super, I need to heal. And in fact, I think it was either once or even multiple times I was able to heal back up to full health. They couldn't really take health down. It's just so broken. So obviously one thing I like to mention here is that the map is extremely more difficult. They actually had a lot more thinking about. However, my biggest recommendation is if the team has throwers or and you want to hide behind a wall or something like this, is you just have to run around. The damage the throwers are going to be doing is going to be kind of forced you out of that position. But again, they were hardly even able to touch me, so Spike is one of the best on both offense and defense. Again, I'm trying to take it from the perspective of playing as the big boss. But then the second best, again, if not the best, is probably Leon. Because he can turn invisible, and so when the goal of the game mode in terms of the big boss is to survive 2 minutes, and you can run around either really fast or heal while invisible, it is extremely powerful. And another thing, a lot like Spike, you'll notice here is Leon has his gadget here, these drones, that have nearly as much he does with spawning them, which is just insane. So again, in this clip, they don't have any throwers. However, they do have Spike again, which is just really good in this mode regardless, on either defense or offense. It's kind of forcing me out of position. But again, the thing you'll notice is the majority of brawlers who have healing abilities are nerfed incredibly, because again, they want to make it fair for the offense team, the 5 versus the 1 ones. However, you'll notice that both Leon and Spike, for no apparent reason, can just heal an incredible amount with their supers. I have no idea why. Again, you think it would be nerfed. I think think it's like 10% or something like that it actually does, but for no apparent reason, it actually appears to be doing more than it actually does, which is surprising to say the least. So again, there's really not a whole lot they can do here. He can't necessarily do as much on offense as Spike can with supers. It's probably just better to run around and just keep force healing yourself. Again, this strategy works even better when you have hypercharge, or especially that. I'm always confusing gears and gadgets, so I believe it's the gear that allows him. They even buffed it recently, actually. It allows him not just 1 second of additional super invisibility, but now 2 seconds, which is 2 more ticks of healing, which again just makes it even more ridiculous. So another thing I'd like to mention is when you're playing a brawler like Leon, or you'll notice I didn't even include Cordelius. I'll have some like honorary mentions, but when you're playing a brawler that essentially goes invisible like Leon or Cordelius, when you run off the screen, or because it's a very long vertical map, right? If you run off the screen out of the screen sight of the brawlers you're fighting against, it actually presents a giant red arrow showing them where you are, which again kind of goes against the whole point of trying to hide. So oftentimes you're actually better off staying in a close area and hiding in a bush, just moving positions, and that usually works to help you preserve where you're hiding longer. So I don't know if this is on the same tier as Spike and Leon in terms of healing, because this one takes a lot of I don't know if I want to say skill on the big boss's part, but you essentially have to get the enemy to mess up and kill you while you're using your super and stuff, so that you can, I kid you not, literally heal your entire health pool right when you're supposed to die. It is the most ridiculous thing probably ever put into the game. Yet they still never, I don't want to say fix it, because what it is, it makes a lot of sense on offense, but when you're what, 180,000 health, so again, Doug isn't the best in terms of defense here. He's got a fair offense, but again, it's hard for him to get damage, especially once they start opening up the map. At least Leon and Spike have their ranged attacks. Again, I'm just, you'll notice I'm in the corner. I'm just trying to heal as much as I can. Leon literally messed up. Wow, he's getting a completely full heal. So, again, they have 30 seconds. It is technically possible for them to still. Notice I'm also still healing. That's the best start I can use. I believe the gadget I used was also the healing, because it just doubles the healing. I have the gear that allows the extra gadget use, which means I can do that extra time. I'm just trying to get as much health as possible. So, as you guys can imagine, Doug's healing from his main attack is nerfed. However, again, if they mess up killing him while he has his super, they essentially just restarted the entire match with less time, so it is incredibly powerful, but again, you have to rely on the enemy to mess up, so it's not exactly a brawler I would recommend, but it's certainly funny when it works. The next one I had here, again, that might be surprising to you is, oh, sorry, okay. It apparently needed to tell me the replay was already pending, even though it was obviously already pending. So I have Chuck here. I mostly just wanted to see if this was a viable strategy. Again, this is another thing with I have a few brawlers out here that I'd call the runaways, essentially. They're not good because they're all they're only good because they have an unreasonable amount of health. So Chuck is essentially the definition of what he's got his holes, you can just fly around the map willy-nilly. So first thing I decided I would do is literally give him as much space as possible to just fly around the map. So you'll notice the last pull I put through the wall. That's because I'm using this gadget that allows him to go through walls and look at the ghost train ability, essentially. This map was arguably not doing much. The rest of the teams at least went to I don't know if they would have won if this map was trying. I at least was able to win. It was trying more because I don't know. He's still trying to help me blocking off his team with super. Again, this feels like more of a troll match than anything. But this is happy too, at least the unorthodox choice for big game. So again, the biggest strategy we're trying to show the other ones Daryl, Stu, is you just want to fly around the map as much as possible. Even if the respawning is only like an hour, some of the time, it's a much better time to stay out there than the worst thing you can do. So again, you can win track. It's just, it's certainly more difficult. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it's certainly possible. He's got the mobility for it. And another one I won with was Bo. So I'm trying to remember how I even won with Bo. Again, I was hoping when I was playing Rory that he would have that same thing with Spike and Liam where he spawns his totem with his gadget. And it would just have like an unreasonable amount of health as you can see. That is not the case here. So, why is Bo a pretty decent brawler? Well, first of all, all flamed with his lines, but also, he's loading his shots faster. He just has that critical shot that does a really decent amount of damage. I believe it has some area of effect damage as well, so you can kill a lot of brawlers at once with it. It's really hard to miss as the thing that does a really good chunk of damage. Again, I was good on both offense and defense in big game. Again, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend him over something like that. Spike got me on just because of but he's certainly a good choice just because of how he is, and there's another brawler that's a lot like that. Again, just because they are mechanically. And to be fair, I want to say point blank, I wasn't necessarily going to try hard in these matches. The main point I'm trying to prove is, can you win with these brawlers easily? Because again, you notice I'm missing like pretty huge chunk of my shots most of the time. I'm just flailing around and trying to see, is this a good guy? While hardly having to try. Again, with close shots having such a wide arc, it's pretty hard to miss. So you hardly even have to try to aim. You just have to kill the brawlers instead of as much as you can. So they did end up getting pretty close, but again, I didn't have to do all that much to win, so I'd say it's a fair choice.
Hello, my good fellas!
For the next brawler, we have... And again, I'd just like to state for the record, for how many brawlers I got in big game as the big boss, it is completely random whether or not you get to be the big boss, so it definitely took as long as you guys think it did to get all these match replays. Literally like the entire weekends. And any brawlers that aren't here that I don't give like an honorary mention to are pretty mediocre at big boss, and I wouldn't really recommend using them. So Ruffs has a pretty special case scenario here. Again, it's a lot like Spike and Leon, where he just drops the gadget. So I was here when he gets the additional drop because he gets 3 sandbags with 40,000 health. That is a combined 120,000 health. Again, you have to be more careful with someone like Ruffs Spike and Leon, because Ruffs doesn't have that innate healing ability that the other ones do. So if they had Brawlers or Fellas or something like that, sandbags and drop stuff, in a pretty bad spot, you have to be pretty careful to run around and take those Brawlers out still. And luckily for me, I didn't really have that here. You'll notice I got wrecked pretty bad by the throwing off those supers. Again, it was really him winning the those, so it wasn't too bad. I will say this nice about Rico and Ruffs on this map is again when you're heading towards just bounce off. The Helix actually helped me a lot. Go to keep super neat, intentional or not, kind of made it worse for teams. So there's just some other really weird stuff going on in the game. Actually, in a regular game, Leon's clothes would disappear. In big game, they just don't, for some reason. There's something weird going on with RT as well, essentially, where when you drop his legs, I don't know how this is happening, because it used to work normally before. You can see that in the cheese videos from other YouTubers, is when they killed his legs in big game, it would still kill him. But now, when he drops his legs and he gets his super, he can transport back to himself normally. That's fine. I'm pretty sure anyway. I think if you transport back to him, it might actually, it'll transport back, but you won't go back to his normal form. And it will essentially just leave the legs sitting there. But if they kill the legs, it doesn't kill the head, it just kills the legs. So the big brawler is still alive, actually, and it's very strange. But what makes it even weirder is after they kill the legs, if RT then uses his super, it drops the legs again at the current amount of health as the head has. So it's incredibly strange. Just keep dropping the legs. And again, I'd say that's kind of a bug that would help you out a lot, kind of like the other ones. However, if the players are smart and they know that they're just to kill the legs, or they just try to go for you again, I wouldn't really recommend it, because if they just essentially just turn into Jack for the second half of the match, so unless you're just Jack I don't actually know if you can even turn back into the regular form. It's, again, very simple. So for Spear, the strategy is rather similar to that of Chuck. Again, I had Cordelia's teaming with me for no apparent reason. So again, you'll notice that I chose not to run down. I wasn't even trying to team anyone that tried to team with me, I just ended up killing them anyway. I was using the it was nice because it allowed you to heal a little bit, but it also allowed you to be more directional with the super. It allowed you to go out on fire areas. Yes, this one wasn't too hard to win. It's just very hard to keep up with Spear. Again, it's very difficult to save the skin. He's very slippery. So there's
time
that.
for some wackadoodle.
The next one is Pam. So I was surprised by Pam because, again, they nerfed her So actually, I don't think they did nerf her healing ability. They nerfed like Pokos, but for some reason they didn't nerf Cannons. Which again, she's one of the like main brawlers that was originally in the game, so I was surprised by this. She does heal a really significant chunk from her healing station. And I did have the gear equipped that lets it. It's not double, but it's certainly more. I forget how much more it is. But I was also using her super that essentially does an unbelievable amount of damage to the brawlers if they touch your healing turret. It's 5,000. With one super, I killed them all in seconds. It is unbelievable, actually. So if you use her and you have her star counter to deal the damage while they're doing that, highly recommend. Again, they're never going to be look at that, it just clears up everything in seconds. And I can just sit there and heal like 2,000 per second. And unlike Spikes, as long as you have the super down, you could just sit there and heal. Again, I'd argue it's harder. Again, do the brawlers there. Unfortunately, they got a bit smarter towards the end and realized that they didn't destroy the walls and just sit there and keep the exact same thing over and over again. That is something that healed someone out anyway. It's so I definitely recommend big game as the big boss, because again, even if you don't get the big boss, you can always help heal your teammates. He's a great support character. Just a pretty good brawler all around. I believe I was using the gadget that stole ammo, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really think it made that big of a difference, though. So, a few of the brawlers on here, again, I like Bo. I'd recommend sincerely because they have good mechanics. BB is one of them, so I chose to go with the shield with the star power, again, because the main point is to stay alive. Though I know that may surprise some of you, because for other slippery brawlers, you might just getting in there and killing them is best. I think this is also the strategy here. Again, I went with the gadget, so she can heal once it's like 2,000 per second, almost for 4 seconds, so she can probably like 32,000 health or something. It's a pretty decent chunk. Again, I have no idea what's going to help like Cordelia's teamers. They seem to appear a lot in the big game for no apparent reason. Again, that's the reason why I didn't include Cordelius as one of the brawlers I choose for big game. He is really good as big boss because you can just keep running around the map and solidifying it into 1v1. But it's just, I don't know, it's really hard when you have those players that are on the offense team that are essentially just giving the big boss a free win. Again, I feel like I would have wanted some BB anyway, again, because she just does a lot of damage in a wide arc. She's got that shield to decrease damage even more. So it's pretty hard to say she wouldn't be a good choice again. Probably go with speed and do pretty well. I don't feel like you even need this because your big boss, you get speed increase anyway. So if you really need to go kill those brawlers, you can probably do that anyway. Having that additional shield to the space is more helpful than the speed is. Also, something weird about Cordelius is I feel like sometimes the replays don't end correctly. I don't know why that is. Next one on here, I think that's just incredibly good. Sincerely because of the mechanics, is B. Because you get that reload increase as Big Brawler. I think the only negative of Big Brawler is it takes you a little longer to get your super. But again, that's probably because your reload is increased, which means it increases the rate at which you can get your super from your regular attacks. So they're probably trying to balance that decreasing the supercharge you get. Just look how fast he shoots. It is just absolutely ridiculous. This character is probably like the biggest nightmare to see as Big Boss. Again, I think it's ridiculous to choose anything but Honey Molasses because you could just cut off an entire lane. I chose B4, to my surprise. Same thing that happened with Bo. I was expecting to put down the Honey Molasses. I was expecting it to have like 40,000 health or something. It still had the regular amount of health. The B is just so good. As Big Boss, it really doesn't matter. She has her regular shots and her charge shots like every second. It's literally like she almost never stops shooting. She becomes this beehive machine gun, essentially. I just take out like the entire 5 of them in like 2 seconds. I think this honestly might be like the highest kill count I've probably got. I haven't checked, but it definitely seems like it. They really can't even touch me because I just kill them so fast. And again, the Honey Molasses helps us slow down a lot. But again, it's surprising Edgar, where you think you deal heal damage, it's just so much and so fast, it doesn't matter. They're only able to do about half my health without me healing at all, so it's a little silly. I'm trying to remember if that definitely isn't the highest kill number, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't check back at the spawner. I think some of them just straight up gave up because of how good she is. Then another one that is extremely triggering to kill as Big Boss is Griff. When you're using his, I believe it's called Business Resilience, that star power that allows him to heal a portion of your missing health. So the closer you get to killing him, the harder it is to kill him, because he just keeps slowly increasing the amount of health he's healing every seconds. So I decided to go with a gadget that allows him to shoot more, even though most people think that's a pretty terrible gadget. I'd rather not shoot things to destroy walls that are actually helping me, so it's great if you're on offense, it is terrible if you're on defense. I mean, it's nice if you're going against like 5 throwers, but again, not to that extent, usually pretty slim. In fact, the reason I rarely see any throwers is solely because they're usually pretty awful. Like I saw a Sprout, the same one that was essentially helping me in my other replay. They were able to pin themselves in the back corner wall, but once they ran out of that gadget that allowed them to pin the super down, there was just nothing more to do at that point. Like, I believe we had a Miko, and he was able to just keep going in and doing damage, but what do you do after you run out of the super? I can't do all that much. You know, that's the Big Boss. Again, it's hard to hit your shots when you are the thrower, especially Sprout, because the shots are bouncing all over the place. I don't know what it is about Sprout specifically, but trying to aim your shot right is the most annoying thing in the world. So I have the time to just flies off the screen for no apparent reason, so you're aiming 2 inches in front of your parry. Again, got me low, but I'm always healing, so unless all 5 brawlers are able to get on top of you, it's going to be very difficult for them to kill you because you start healing a lot once you get really low. Alright, so the next one is Ash, which you guys probably could have guessed. He just does, man, he might actually be worse than B. guys should probably get pretty scared when you see Ash as the big boss. He's got the damage. He's already fast, but his ability to take damage again is the big boss, where he can take a lot of damage and still be fine. He can actually just demolish everyone because he's unbelievably fast. Maybe there are faster people. Leon with the, I believe it's called smoke trails that makes him go faster. That star power is probably the fastest. Again, your big boss and you're really fast and again, it's probably a 2-kill for every single brawler on site, even 1 when he's at full raid. And then, actually, probably notice I have 2 replays out. I'm just going to share the other one because I think it's funny. Is what happens when you guys use the ability that takes away your health as the big boss, and you get much better results. Because it actually seemed to be nerfed for some reason. Again, it was very shocking to me. It would be so funny if it worked the way that it So yeah, like this replay game is a lot like the B1. I'm just running around doing damage so fast. So I also had the star power that was for the reload, which meant I was pretty much smacking everyone with magic stick for 2 seconds. So again, you'll notice it's almost when he's reload, it's almost a lot like he's almost he just never stops hitting the stick on the ground. I don't know what's up with the replays not ending
Time
correctly.
for some whack-a-doodle.
Next one is Rico. So I don't actually remember if his healing ability really works that great, but on this map in particular, at the very least, he's a pretty darn good choice, which you guys will see here. So I went with the speed, star power, and the healing gadget. Again, I really just wanted to see if it would do all that much. I think it hardly did anything, if I remember correctly. I think it was like 40 per bounce or something, which is terrible. I think I do like 8,000 health for other brawlers. Probably like 8,000 health per tick, and that's the most you can do. So again, you're really just putting with the skill shots there. But yeah, again, as you guys will notice when I use the healing shot there, it does barely anything. So I don't necessarily recommend Rico that much unless it's a map like this where you can just hide in the corner. That is pretty much solely the only reason I was able to win. So Reaper's ability to hide in the corner and just shoot off his super is incredibly useful. So again, another strategy you notice is if you're playing against Cordelis and he's not teaming with you, it might honestly be better to just sit there in his realm, as they call it, and just take damage from him than it is to take damage from the other players. Actually, it's probably non-beneficial, detrimental to actually do that when you're on the offense as Cordelia. So I don't know why they bother to use their super when they're trying to take the game seriously. I think something like Charlie's super on offense is significantly more useful than what Charlie's super on offense is significantly more useful than what Cordelius's could be. because while none of the players can hit the brawler, they make it a lot faster. It's a lot worse before. So in like 5 seconds now, it allows all of your team's brawlers to get together and just absolutely knock off a ton of damage on the big brawler. So again, instead of the next brawler is Daryl. So whenever you have a brawler where you can increase the reload speed as a star power or gadget or whatever, I highly recommend choosing that one for a mode like this, because when you increase reload speed, you increase the ability to get super. A lot of the brawlers, their ability to get res from super, as you notice I utilize it a lot here. So I use the super to increase reload speed, I used to increase reload speed to get the super, so I just keep doing that many times throughout the entire match. And making the very slippery. It's a lot like the Stu strategy that Daryl is doing. Again, what I like about Daryl over Stu is that his shots are so wide. I mean, his super is obviously harder to get, but I'd argue it's just more fun to play Daryl, at least rolling all over the place, shooting off 50 shotguns. So he's a decent choice. Again, I still got pretty close to dying here, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend him that much, but he's an alright choice.
This is just a side gig.
Next one, we're getting close to the end of the list here. We have Bull. So Bull was a lot like the Daryl strategy. You just choose the star power that gives him the reload speed. I actually tried using the shield star power previously, so I actually had to get Bull as the big boss twice, which again took quite a while. Because I actually lost with the shield one, because I wasn't able to get his super and get around the map as fast. Also, what's nice about the reload one is that it activates significantly sooner than his shield does. What's the point of having the shield if you're stuck moving around getting pelted anyway? So arguably the reload powers as the big boss are way more significant, because they're in addition to the already increased reload. Again, I don't want you guys to consider the hypercharge when you think about choosing which brawler to pick for big game, because reasonably all brawlers will eventually have their hypercharges. But also, if you don't have the hypercharge, you usually don't want to have to worry about that. So for brawlers like Spike and Bull, obviously I was able to benefit from having it. I don't think it helped that much though. Again, with Bull you can get that hypercharge a lot more. I think he's probably the fastest brawler to get his hypercharge in the entire game, if I'm not mistaken, because all you need to do is run up, shoot off like a few times, and have it, maybe like run in twice and you already have your hypercharge. And that's obviously a lot easier for me to say that here, when he does have this amazing reload speed, but yeah, you'll notice Bull has a, I don't want to say the most useful hypercharge, but it's definitely one of the easier ones to get, whereas you know, a lot of people complaining hypercharge like Froze is incredibly useful, but it takes so long to get, you hardly even get it once per match, so it's very tricky, especially with the Froze playstyle where you're just sitting there dealing damage from a distance, not allowing your enemies to heal. It's a lot less likely you're going to get that hypercharge. What do you mean this is you? I know it's me, I posted it. Alright. This one legitimately kind of surprised me here. So again, you notice I say hardly anyone picks throwers in big games, so why on earth would I pick Brawlers? So again, I was so sure that they nerfed his healing ability. They did not, and again, for the Brawler that the healing ability isn't nerfed, it actually seems to be buffed, which again is just mind-boggling to me. So for every single regular attack on Brawler, I think his gadget probably healed the normal amount, but again, how much that gives you to just sit there and do a lot of damage. So what I really like particularly about Barley, besides the fact that he can heal a lot, is that he has that area damage super, which again can just cut off the getting to you in the first place. I actually had a particularly tough time in this one because I was facing so many doors that would open up the map. But despite that, again, being a Barley on essentially an open map and so many Brawlers, I was still able to win just because of his ridiculous healing. I guess you could say there's settings a little bit of behind that part in these matches. Again, I was looking for these Brawlers to win really bad, but they lost the game. And a lot of you would probably be surprised not to see Jesse, Nita, since they're the OGs, Cheese, and Vicky, actually did seem to have nerfed that. The turret there has regular health now, which is incredibly unfortunate. Again, just a fair choice, but not as good as they used to be. So again, I'm on a path here. I did pretty darn close, I suppose, but again, I fielded so much throughout that match, they probably had to deal like double the amount of health I started with in terms of damage, so...
Yeah, this is just a side gig.
Barley's actually a pretty darn good choice on both offense and defense. Again, I'm not sure if his sticky syrup mixer, or whatever his other gadget's called, it honestly might have been more useful than the healing since he's already healing. And I don't think the other healing flask, or whatever that gadget is called, was actually doing all that much anyway, so that might have been a better choice there. Though the healing, what I really like about the healing one when you're on the offense, which I was quite a bit, because as you can imagine, it's a 1 in 6 chance of getting the big boss. It's actually pretty cool to see Barley throw all 5 of his healing flasks down. I don't know why I'm saying all 5. I think it might be unlimited, actually. I never actually considered, even at a 5v5, which you guys can see now, if you play that mode, he'll throw down 4 healing. Well, actually, no, it's 5 because he throws one for himself. I always forget that. So yeah, you can actually see that pretty regularly now, but I don't know if there's a limit to how many healing flasks he'll throw down depending on how many friendly Brawlers are in his circle radius. If someone's able to like mod the game or something to add more friendly Brawlers, maybe we could find out, but it's interesting to think about. Again, I know this is a longer video, but I just think the actual videos themselves are pretty darn funny. I did have a video, I had a clip of me playing as Gus to see if his healing spirits were any good. They were not. So, unlike B, Gus really doesn't do that much damage, and also like B doesn't do penetration damage either. The healing spirits hardly did anything. Not to mention that I was using the ability that made him invisible. So, is it really just offense? Other modes, he's really good. This mode in particular, I don't know. So you'll notice I already showed you guys that on my show. The reason I chose this one is because you'll notice I start off with like 177,000. Every time I use that gadget that damages him for rage, it takes away 5,000. So, I want you guys to pay attention to that, because I had all 4 gadgets as well, because I have the additional plus here activated. So again, I'll fast forward it, it's already rewinded it. You notice that despite reducing my health by 20,000, absolutely giving the enemy team the advantage here. Or at least you could say I'm putting a handicap on myself. Despite that, I'm so good as a brawler in the game, and I was still able to win. again, I wasn't trying crazy hard. I did make a pretty good play here at the end. They actually had a very good chance of killing me. Again, he's just so slippery with his speed from the very start. I was able to catch up to him. He got very, very close. But I still won. Because Ash is just a really good one for big game. Again, I highly recommend you do not do it and choose the gadget that takes away his health when the whole point is to stay alive. So again, I can hardly even think of a time when using that gadget is good. Hardly anyone even does. I definitely think they should change that to something else. The only thing that gadget can do is give you a free full rage meter, and that's assuming you're using literally all 4 of the gadgets. Is get a full free rage meter without even looking at the enemy, without even being near an enemy, without hitting anyone. That's the one thing it can do, while simultaneously decreasing your health by like 2,000. So is it worth it for 4 whole gadgets? Not really, especially when most people use his super and chill pill combo to both give him his rage and heal up at the same time. It's just a really, really poor gadget in comparison. But yeah, let me just say, I'll go through the list here, some of the ones I didn't mention. Maisie's pretty good with her hypercharge, but I wouldn't really recommend regular. Colt's average, I guess. He doesn't have anything special about him. One that's really good actually is Miko. Again, I don't even really feel the need to mention that though, because his mobility is just insane, not to mention his super gives him 5-second invulnerability. Another one I want to mention was, let's see. I don't usually have it sorted like this by trophies. Again, I was just doing the 10 brawlers at my highest trophies to make sure I don't lose out that much on the reset. It's Cordelius, obviously. The other one that's decently fair but takes more skill is Janet. Again, obviously you can win as any brawler, but again, the ones I would definitely recommend are Spike, Leon, and one other thing. Again, I'm glad I'm going through this because I wanted to mention this, is one I didn't include because I lost was Penny. If you drop her salt barrels, they do have like 50,000 health. However, it's just not a lot going on with Penny to really give her that much. Again, it might just been the fact that I was in a match against a lot of throwers, but I just got absolutely ran through, so Penny is good for that fact. But other than that, also her cannon has regular health for no apparent reason, even though her salt barrels have 50,000 health. She just can't do that much at range, or I mean, I even used like the 100% increased damage cone, and I just wasn't able to win with that. So again, any of those brawlers that I showed, like a lot of the other ones I tried with, like RT and stuff, any like decent smart team comp is going to be able to defeat you. Those brawlers I showed you I won with are the ones, even some of them are kind of a stretch, like Chuck, but they're the ones that are probably better for the big game mode. I'm trying to think if there's I'll just pull out the list again. It was, I know if big game comes back, and I know which brawlers I'm going to be playing, but it'd be Spike, Leon, and I don't really want to say Doug. Again, I think that's a lot harder on the big brawlers part. Probably Pam. Probably Pam was the other one. I'd say Spike, Leon, Pam, B, Ash, possibly Griff are the best choices. You can even do really well with Barley. Again, to my surprise, probably the only good thrower in big game. Again, prove me wrong, it'd be great. But the most important thing is I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments if you think there's one that I left out that's really good. Again, I didn't show the replays for Cordelius or Miko because I think it's pretty obvious you could do really well with them. They have great ability to run around the map, but the reason I'm not showing replays for them is because you actually have to try. Try a lot harder, that is, running around the map. Because if you just attack regularly and sit still with the super with someone like Cordelius and you transport back in the middle, they can take you out really easily actually. So again, they can be really good, but it's going to take more effort on your part. So again, if there's a brawler that I left out that you think is really good, please say so in the comments down below. And without further ado, I don't really think there's anything else I have to mention in this video. I just want to include it because I don't know if there's really a big game Brawlers tier list, especially as of recently. And I don't know if everyone knows about the weird, like, I don't even want to call them glitches. I think they're essentially features at this point. Is the fact that Spike drops down cactuses with like 100,000 health or something for no apparent reason. So it's very broken. But yeah, again, hopefully you found this video informative, guys. If you'd like to, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more videos, Brawl Stars, I'm doing those daily star drop openings. Just make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And let me know anything else you guys want to know, or anything else that you know that you think I missed, or anything about Brawl Stars, recommendations for games, whatever. And we'll see how far we can take this. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for, again, watching the videos and subscribing. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a good day, guys.